Florida versus Kentucky. Kickoffs at noon tomorrow. To spice this rivalry up more than it already is, a current Kentucky player had some things to say about his feelings on this Florida versus Kentucky rivalry. Before I show you that, it's kind of just on par with the temperature this season of which coach or player is going to make a jab or take a shot, one should say, over the bow at the opposing team to quote-unquote make it personal.
Personal.
Right? We've been seeing a lot of this back and forth this year. We did it at Utah. Princely showed up, took photos at Little Ass Stadium. That came back to bite us in the ass. Joe Milton was quoted all offseason talking about how he's never lost in Florida. We know how that played out.
Don't lose in Florida.
And now we've got a Kentucky player also making a comment, and I love it because now you're just putting a little extra juice into the fire, sprinkling a little bit. Look, I'm not saying he's wrong in his quote here. It does got to add some extra fuel. I hope the football players of the Gators are seeing this. Because look, let's use it for some momentum. Take a listen.
I'm undefeated against Florida, so I don't really pay attention to what it used to be.
And to be fair, he has a phenomenal point here. We, the fans, we've been through this for the last 20 plus years. Some of us, some less than others, right? So our fondest memory is dominating Kentucky. But the current players of Florida Gators and the current players of Kentucky don't know nor care about that history. But right now, Billy Napier, Brandon Spikes, they are doing a fantastic job of infusing that history back into the Florida culture and back into that Florida program to make them understand, like, look, this is Kentucky, but we're not where we're supposed to be. We are not where things should be and where they had been for the past 30 years. Kentucky has had our number, unfortunately. I will say that, but it's time to get back to business. I love the jab. If I'm Mark Stoops, I'm probably thinking, what are we doing here? This is probably why college kids are hard to get interviews, because they might just say something to pop off, and it's like, we don't need to give them any more fuel than us beating them the last 2 years. I don't know if Mark Stoops cares that much, but it is interesting. I love it. Fires me up seeing that. I don't mind the jab. Just know the last person to take a jab, referencing sort of the same thing about not losing in Florida, a.k.a. losing to Florida, didn't pay off.
Very meaningful. I don't lose in Florida. Oh, it was very meaningful. I don't lose in Florida.
But I also want to show you guys real quick before you go an interview with Sean Kelly, voice of Florida Gators, and Graham Mertz, talking about the preparation from Charlotte to Kentucky and comparing it to the preparation after that Utah game. Remember, the Utah game didn't go too well. The Charlotte game, I think there's a lot of frustrations from the fans' perspective. But speaking to old players and hearing Billy talk about it, I think there's a lot of pros that came out of that weekend, just not exactly what the fans wanted to see. But take a listen to what Mertz had to say.
All right, Graham, tell me about your week. What were you looking to improve upon here as we head into week 5?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just across the board. I mean, we knew the week of prep, we had to have a great attention to detail. I think I'm so proud of how the guys, I mean, we had that kind of after the Utah game and then coming back, and then the week was really good going into the next couple of games. So I was really proud of how the response was after the game and the finish. I mean, we talked about all week red zone finishing, and I think the guys did a great job of, during the week of prep, finishing every rep, finishing every rack of plays. So it was a good response.
Yeah. So we're on the road. It's been a long time since we've gotten on the road. What do you know about Lexington, Kentucky?
I know a little bit about Lexington. Been there before. Yeah, man, it'll be a fun place to play. They got a good fan base, so I'm sure we'll get loud out there.
Change of scenery, does that help in any way with the football team, just to kind of change the routine up even?
Yeah, I think anytime you go on the road, especially, really anywhere you go on the road, it really tests what your team's about and how you can respond to adversity, respond to, it's just us out there. And obviously we'll have some Gators out there cheering loud, but that really tests the unity of your team. And I mean, I love our team. I think that we're really close, so I think it'll be a good experience for us.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, tomorrow at noon, Kentucky versus Florida. Big matchup here. Really going to set a tone for the SEC East. I think it's going to come down to 2 of these 3 teams. Tennessee has taken a step back. They can really resurge themselves. But right now, Kentucky and Florida are seeming to be the 2 leaders to see who's going to be up against Georgia to take down the SEC East. This could be that turning point game, so it's going to be exciting to kick off at noon. And also tomorrow at 9:30, we're going to do Hightop game day. So be sure, turn the bell on, come hang out with us. We got Jay Crane from Crane & Company, Ty Hayes, as well as Allie Peak is going to be on the show tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast. It is a great time if you haven't seen it. Come by from 9:30 to about 10:30-ish, sometimes a little long if we're having too much fun. Hope to see you guys there. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.